you're
Good?
ready. Yep.
All right. So at this time, I'd like to call to order today's meeting of the Charter Review Committee. Would the city clerk please call the roll?
McAleese,
Here?
Aubrey,
Here.
Edwards,
Here.
Johnson, Minix, Richmond, Strauss.
Here.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the May 4th meeting of this review committee. Do I have any motions and seconds to approve those minutes? Hopefully everybody had a chance to read them. Yep.
I move we waive reading and approve the minutes.
Okay, motion to, a second?
Second.
Okay, and a second. That was John. Thank you very much. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. At our last meeting, the committee reviewed specific charter sections we previously identified as needing to be evaluated. I would like to ask the staff to present a draft of those recommendations.
Okay, so we're gonna do this in a couple of phases if you don't mind, because we have some
Perfect.
different documents. So. Okay. So the bigger one with the cover sheet is a draft of the charter with strike through and underline highlighted of the changes that you all made. And then this is a draft document of, you had asked for some of the basis of your decisions to be documented, just as comments.
Coming at you.
Found it to be easier to do that on a separate page rather than in the margins, because that can get real small and kind of funky to look at. So this is just a starting point of us kind of summarizing a little bit of your discussion. If you would like for that to be different, please let us know. This was just a starting point. And then the other thing I would say, we would like to review this, go through each change and make sure we got it right. But then when you get to Article 4, the committee had recommended that the city pursue changing from a commission form of government to a city manager form of government. So Gray Robinson, Kristen had worked on a draft of basically an amend and replace of Article 4 in its entirety. So I have that as well. That is not included in here because it got really convoluted to do that.
Okay.
So what is in there in Article 4 is the one change that you all agreed. If they don't go that route, we did also ask that they remove the reference to directors. So that change is in there. So, but I will give you the separate ones, and you may see why I did it this way, because it got really, it got a little complicated trying to put it all together. So, if you want to take one of each of these, and then I will explain what they are as well. They are, in essence, the same
This one.
document. One is I'm gonna say blue line. I don't know why it's not red, but it's a red line version, but it's blue. And then the other is a clean version of that Article 4. Does that make sense?
It will when we get to
Okay.
it.
So you'll have 4 things. You should end up with 4 separate things.
Yep.
And then as we go, we can kind of refer to each thing as it's needed. So, I would suggest that we start with this one. And then the recommendations kind of side by side with it, so you all can tell us what you would like changed, or added, for each. So, okay, so everybody has these 2 out right now. These are the 2 we're going to be looking at side by side. One is the recommendations, basis of recommendations, and then the other was the main report draft. So we'll start.
Okay, so I was gonna say, so I believe we're gonna start with the 2016 Charter Review Committee recommendations draft.
Yes.
And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna look at the yellow that's in there,
Yes.
which is the proposed changes that
Correct.
we made. And then we will compare them to the basis of recommendations
Yes.
to make sure that we have the information, because I assume it's gonna be me presenting this to the full commission, or will be
Typically,
you?
yeah. I mean, I will help. It will
Okay.
be almost like a workshop item where
Okay.
you'll speak on behalf of the committee and I'll
Okay.
help, and Kristen
Yeah.
as well.
So we want to make sure that the basis for recommendations are complete to gather everybody's thoughts on why we made those recommendations.
Correct.
All right.
I did not go into a ton of explanations, so you
Uh-huh.
all may want it to be a little wordier. But I was gonna err on the side of shorter.
Everybody's
And then
different.
you
I
guys
like
can-
short.
You guys can let us know if you say, no, we'd like this point also included and whatnot. So, if you wanna flip to, I mean, it's page 1 of the report, has the change at the bottom highlighted in section 1.04. That was the inclusion of language, in favor of home rule powers. So that was a change all recommended, and then we have a brief statement on the basis for recommendations, just kind of emphasizing the importance of home rule power in local governments.
So this charter shall be liberally constrained in favor and exercise of home rule. Okay. I'll give everybody a second to read that and to read the basis for the recommendation, and then see if we have any discussion. Any, oh, okay, all right, so we are moving on to the next one.
Okay. So then we'll be flipping over to 2.03, which is at the bottom of page 2.
So item 1, substance abuse. You find substance abuse to be a broader, yep. Any discussion on that one? I'm loving this meeting, thank you.
Okay, and so,
Nothing on page 3, I'm just looking at the number on the bottom of the page.
yeah,
Nothing on page 4. Nothing on page 5.
I think it goes to page 8.
Okay, nothing on 6, 7, and 8.
Yep. So I wrote sort of a brief explanation of you all making the recommendation to pursue changing to a city manager form of government, and then also noted the alternative or what could be done in the interim of sort of enhancing the city administrator position and separating it from the city clerk role. So that's documented on the recommendations. And then the other 2 documents that I gave out to you are a draft proposal of a new Article 4, because if they want to pursue going to a city manager form of government, Article 4 needs to be replaced entirely. So you have both of those.
So are we gonna, this is the one we're gonna come back to? We'll go
You
through
can do
this?
it now.
Yeah,
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 we can go
but
through now, yeah, let's just go through it now.
I was thinking we'd just go through
Yeah.
this whole document, and then we'll come back to number 4, because it sounds like something we wanna spend some time on.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
I shouldn't say the word, I'm so sorry.
We're all doing the same thing, you're
Caught
good.
you at a bite.
I'd actually defer to Kristen as well, because my understanding would be if they want to pursue changing to a city manager form of government, that new Article 4 could need some tweaking either way, so they don't necessarily need to agree to an entirely new Article 4 if they don't want to right now.
Are you, what do you mean? So if they don't, if the commission doesn't want to change to a city manager form of government?
If they're recommending changing to a city manager form of government, do they need to have a finalized formal new Article 4? So that is something that the commission could continue to work through.
Yes.
So this is a draft of a new Article 4, but you guys don't have to hammer it all out. The commission will need to do that.
Correct. This
Afterwards.
is just, for discussion purposes, a draft of what it could look like, kind of to get your input on, would you like this in, would you not like this in, for a recommendation to the commission. If it's approved, the commission would then work with Carly and I to draft the actual charter language. So this is discussion purposes, just to start the conversation.
So since we've spent this amount of time on it, let's keep going, right?
All right.
So you have the blue line, which is the old charter with the recommendations for changing, which includes part of section 2. And then all of section 4. I want to make a note that while it looks like I changed the city attorney and city clerk provisions, I did not. Those will remain the same because they don't change whether it's a city manager or a city commission form of government.
Okay.
It was just easier for me to cross out the whole thing and rewrite it. So 4.01 city manager is the one that would change, and we would lose the old 4.01 and old 4.02.
I'm not sure I'm with you guys.
So on the first document that we were looking at,
Right.
so Article 4, 4.01 and 4.02, the second set of paperwork that they gave out with us, with all the blue underlines, yep, is what would replace that, am I correct?
Correct, and then there's also a clean version of that. So you got
Okay.
two sets of documents. In the second set, there's two paper clips. There's a clean
Okay.
version and a blue line version.
Okay,
All right.
So the one that starts with the blue has 2.05 on the front, because Kristen also caught that there's another section outside of Article 4 that would need to change if the city chose to go to this form of government. So it would be Article 4 and then this section of Article 2.
so this
That
committee,
makes sense.
this committee made the recommendation, okay, for the commission to look at going to a city manager full-time, okay? We don't have to do much beyond that. You've already done the work. We can review it here, look at it, but we don't really need to do much more. We've made the recommendation for the commission. Okay, I just want to make sure that, yeah, so.
I did make some highlights in here for discussion purposes, like, if you look at the the new section 4.01, entitled City Manager. It's yellow highlighted in both, so. Under letter B, there's a removal provision for how the city manager can be removed. Different cities have, it needs to be a supermajority of the commission or a majority of the commission if they wanted to vote on a removal of the current city manager, whoever that may be. I wanted to kind of leave that up to you for discussion. If you had a recommendation on that, if you don't, it's okay.
I like this format better than just saying we want city manager, because I think it clarifies some of the key, like what you just said about super majority versus majority. So if you want a stronger city manager, you want the super majority. If you are not in favor of a stronger city manager, then you do a simple majority. That's
Yeah,
kind of like
it's-
one of the
Exactly, it makes it
finer
harder.
points of the recommendation.
So yeah, that's up for you guys to decide. Go ahead.
So, you're specifically talking about the removal and suspension in this one? Okay.
Do you
not
want 4 out of 5 commissioners to have to vote on that, or do you want 3 out of 5 commissioners to have to vote on that?
And what's normal for, like, if we're voting on a resolution, if the council's voting on, or the commission's voting on a resolution or something like that, it's just usually a majority?
Correct, usually.
Thank you.
There are certain things that require a supermajority, certain budgetary moves or actions the city wants to take would have to be.
If I remember correctly, when we were voting on the tax rate, it was a supermajority.
Correct. So there are some things that are elevated to that level.
But generally, the supermajority makes things harder to change. A
Correct.
simple majority makes things easier to change.
Correct.
Good and bad.
Yeah,
Would have both sides, yeah.
And you don't have to make a decision today. It's just for discussion purposes.
You like 4. All right, so super,
Make them sweat, make them mean it.
yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts on that? Okay, yeah. And good with super? Yep. All right, well, good call on that one, thank you.
Is it important enough for the
Yeah.
whole commission, or most of the commission to be allowed to speak?
Yes,
Given
yeah.
all the powers and duties, yeah, it would be really important.
So who controls budget? Does the city manager control the budget or the commission in a city manager form?
The commission funds it, the city manager controls its use.
Okay,
Because the commission has to approve the budget annually and has to approve the millage rate that funds the budget.
the city manager recommends the budget, recommends the millage rate, and they either say yay or nay. And then in terms of spending the budget money, once it's budgeted, the city manager can spend it without getting any further advice or counsel from the
Typically,
commission.
yeah. As long as it's being spent in the way that it was budgeted
Right.
specifically, yeah. Which we do that now. We have
We do.
everything budgeted now, and if something's out of budget, we come in and say, I either need to do a budget amendment, or I need this much money for this unexpected thing. I have this money over here that I'm not planning to use, actually, that I had budgeted, but I'm not gonna end up using. Can I use this for that? That's how we run it now. So,
Is that in the charter, or is that just because we run it that way?
that's just how we do it, yeah.
Okay.
So
And it-
so the city manager would be working with the finance director, and so that would take that responsibility away from the commission right now,
Correct.
as far as, because I remember the, the workshops and all of the budget
Yes.
meetings that we had. So that would then come to the commission in an almost completed form, the budget, instead of the commission having to debate over.
Yeah, I think
line
so.
items and such.
We've streamlined it quite a bit recently. I think, I'm sorry?
What?
I know, sorry.
Well, things are supposed to get better as they
Yes,
go along,
yeah,
right?
We've streamlined it quite a bit. I think the change in my understanding is more between the city manager position and the director positions in managing how all that's done.
Sure.
I honestly don't know that the presentation part of it would change all that much, because I think the finance director would still be the best person to come in and present it, and, we'd all be there to answer our own questions. So I honestly don't know that it would look that much different to the outside. It would be how it's done differently, maybe behind closed doors,
Absolutely.
so.
Thank you.
I probably missed this. Who puts the budget together?
So currently, each of the directors works with the finance department to
Okay,
to draft their own proposed budget.
all right,
And then it's all presented to the commission during the month of June. So the finance director would say, be at the table for the entire workshop meeting, and then as your department is called, you come up and join them, and you answer any
Present your
questions
slides.
with your
Okay.
proposal, and then they move on to the next topic, the next budget topic.
okay. And the city manager approves it once it's done, or the commission?
The commission approves it.
Commission approves it? Interesting, okay. But the city manager has input, or does he not?
Yeah,
On
so
the new budget.
so changing to the city manager form of government, for example, right now, if a director says, I want to propose doing this in my department and cost this much, there is no one above that director, besides their commissioner, that can tell them yes or no. If you're putting in a city manager could say, you're not proposing that, or not, and I'm not saying that anybody would or wouldn't, but I'm
Right.
saying it adds that level of like, I don't think that's the direction we wanna go, we're not gonna propose that. Where right now, a director can come in and say, I wanna add 10 people to my department. Now, it doesn't put it through, but they can come in and ask
Sure.
for anything.
Yeah.
There's no,
Okay,
there's no one to stop them. Not that they need it, everybody's been great about it. I don't think that's an issue here. But if you're asking for the difference in the process, that would be it, is my understanding.
all right.
So,
I wasn't sure.
did I say that right? Okay.
Just to double check.
Just double checking.
Just to double check.
So,
I highlighted this other point just for discussion as well. If you had a chance to go through all the powers and duties, you can do that. But I wanted to point out, number 2 says, appoint, suspend, and remove all city employees, and appoint, suspend, and remove all department heads in accordance with adopted city employment policies, provided that the city commission may, by ordinance, require commission confirmation for the appointment or removal of specified department heads. Basically, that highlighted provision can provide protection for certain, for example, directors of the departments, that the city manager can't just say, you're fired and that's done. The commission has to agree with it and vote on it. Up for discussion.
How is it typically done? In
I would
most-
say usually there's a vote. But I've seen both. That's why I highlighted it, because some jurisdictions included that, some didn't.
Is it normal for the city manager to have the power of hiring, firing, and so on, all employees? Or is it normally just the department heads, and then they have the ability to hire and fire their own people in their departments?
Normal is tough, because in our current setup, the director is correct. The director is, well, I guess it would be the commission member that has to approve it.
the commission doesn't typically get involved in hiring decisions currently beyond the director. But they could.
So
They
in-
just
yeah.
typically don't.
Yeah, wow.
In this form, I would say it's normal for the city manager to have a purview over that.
Yeah, to basically approve the decisions that are being made by,
So the director would
department.
come to the city manager and say, I wanna hire
yeah,
3 more firefighters
Mhm.
or something like that, and then,
yeah. I did a hiring process, here's the candidates I want a job offer, I want some job
so you
offers
don't,
too. and-
so the the city manager doesn't have to do the interviewing and all that other stuff, but that, I mean, that's all done by HR or whomever, right? Okay. 'Cause that would be a lot.
I was gonna say, it's all done by the director. I don't know that we truly have an HR department,
That's
do we?
me also.
That's what I
That's
thought.
right.
We got another amendment.
We got an HR department that gets legal advice, that's right.
Hey, when we get done, you only work 4 weeks a year.
There we go. I like it.
We'll get you in.
Okay. Any more discussion on that topic? Anybody have any thoughts or anything? All right, very well put together, thank you. Okay. So we'll move on to the next. So there's nothing on 9, 10, 11. Where do I have to get to? Find the right document? Yep. Nothing on 13, so 14, page 14.
I'm sorry, I'm still reading this one.
Nope, that's good.
That's
We
all right.
can-
And I just wanted to ask for your thoughts on the non-interference, because that seems to be an issue in a lot of other small cities recently with the sort of the demarcation line between commissioners and either directors or employees, that kind of thing. And this handles it beautifully. But do you think because of the situation now and going to this new, potentially this new form of government, is this going to create some hiccups along the way because of what everyone is used to doing, and now there'll be a stricter governance over relationships with employees and directors?
That's why I included that non-interference, just to make it clear, because, any transition, there's
Yeah.
adjustments and everything, but I feel like this makes it clear. A city commission member no longer has the authority to do what they used to be able to do. It's the city manager now, so communicate through the city manager, and that's the lens through which you are able to kind of
Right.
have a discussion amongst everyone else.
Right. So Carly, from your experience, do you foresee this might be like a sea change of how people need to behave in the future? And, I would think if the commission decides to do this, they'll understand that these are gonna be the kind of the new operating rules.
Yeah, I think that any, I don't say violation, but anyone acting not in line with that would most likely be inadvertent and accidental and very open to like, actually you need to go I think the commission we have currently is very receptive to things like that. So yeah, my thought would be there wouldn't be, I don't see it as being an issue. I
Okay,
don't
that's
necessarily mean that everybody would make the switch immediately and it wouldn't happen, but I think that it would be pretty easy to clear up. Cause I think everybody works together pretty well.
Sure.
So,
My only comment to that was, I think everybody works together well, would understand that if we chose to go this direction. And then obviously, as new people got elected, they would come into the new system and wouldn't even know. So you're really talking about a very small group of people right now that would have to learn to deal with it.
Yeah, short transition.
Yes.
Yep.
Period, okay.
Yeah, bless you.
Thank you.
Well, let's go back to the paragraph with the oversight. So it's not going to create any confusion with the change that we made around the commissioners having oversight responsibility for the directors.
so that recommendation is really more if the commission does not choose to pursue going to a city manager form of government, which would mean that all of Article 4 would be staying the same. So my suggestion was if they don't want to replace Article 4 in its entirety, I would at least ask them to make that change. So it's sort of it's not a both, it's a one or the other
Yeah, I like that,
recommendation.
that clarifies
That
it.
was kind of the thought of like, if you don't do this, please at least do this, and
But
it's
if
not.
you do city manager, that
That's
whole
all
section
new
gets
anyway.
replaced with
Yep.
this, which I think is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so.
And then if you decide not to do city manager, then you should at least make that change.
Then we, yes, yeah, and that's
Okay.
more, that's not intended to necessarily take any authority away or change anything with the form of government, it's just to clarify, because calling them directors is very confusing for us internally.
Okay, got it.
So,
I'm not sure I even knew that. I mean, you
That's good.
probably, yeah. I had no idea.
well, it's not been, certain people have tried to use that language over the years to their own
Oh, okay.
benefit.
Yeah.
So we'll go for a long time without it being an issue and nobody thinks anything of it, and then someone will come in and go, wait a minute, I'm a director, and that has
Sure.
been, that has been an issue in the past, so if we could clarify that, that would be great. So,
All good.
Okay, any other thoughts on that? All right, so we're moving forward to page 14, section 7.01, it looks like. Oops. This one seemed like there was quite a bit of consensus on this one to move from the 6-year, I'm sorry. No, did we keep the 6-year thereafter? But we changed the number of people to 579, right? Okay. So, any discussion on the 579? Okay, and then the next one is 7.03. And there's just a strikeout there. 5 affirmative votes, regardless of the number of members in attendance. The committee finds the number of committee members, it's amended 7.1. Oh, okay, yeah. That's just for the, what constitutes a quorum.
correct.
Okay. All right, any discussion on that? There has to be discussion. We've only been here for 35 minutes. And we're done, folks. This is the last one.
And we decided we're not gonna give raises, right?
We did, we
All
did.
right, all
That,
right.
that was not in there. You're not gonna get rid of term limits. You're not gonna give raises.
All right,
And,
well, that's good.
I can't remember what else, but any discussion on this one?
Are you all comfortable with all of the basis? This was the part that I was most
Yeah, I don't, I'm,
hopeful that we
this one.
got that we kind of really got your thinking. But if there is more,
I just feel like it doesn't have to be hard if you don't make it hard. This
I
committee
agree.
did a great job.
I agree.
I'm
Yep.
just very happy with the way this whole process worked. Yep.
Do we have to recommend a number? Is that what you're asking
A
for?
number of what?
For this committee going forward?
No,
No.
Well, we did that.
So-
We changed it
So
to
we're just-
5.
So we're
Is
just
it-
saying it can be
it can
any of
either be
those?
5, 7, or
Yeah,
9.
just an odd number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
one
an
odd
odd number between 5 and 9.
Depends on the response.
It would depend on, exactly, yep.
Because I guess in the past, the commissioners have actually gone through and picked through a larger number of
Yep.
applicants.
Yep.
And this time, every applicant is at the table, I
Correct.
believe. Yeah.
Oh, here's my question I would pose. We wanna, let's just say for some reason we get 12 applications one year. We wanna allow the city commission to still only choose 5 if they only like 5.
Isn't that
I
the way
would-
it's
I
worded?
would think so.
Okay. So it's not like they have to choose 9.
Right,
There's
right.
A bunch of.
I would
okay.
think they could still
Okay.
do that if they wanted to,
I think that makes
I
sense.
would think,
Hadn't thought about that.
but.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really, you'd wanna necessarily force them to choose 9 if they felt that there were certain reasons that, but they could, yeah. So, it's up to you guys.
As it's written, they can choose, they could get 30 applications and still only choose 5. That's why I bring that up. which I think is fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Understood.
Then why not just make it 5?
Because they could get 9 really good applications.
I mean, you could just say 5. We were just trying to give them flexibility in case they got more, because it's 9 right now, but,
Possibility's good.
Yeah.
so.
I kind of like 7 since there's 7 of us. I don't want to throw anybody out.
Perfect 7, lucky 7. So,
That's a good number. 7. I think 5 seems awfully small for me.
I think, I'd have to get it back out. I think part of why you all started there was that was a standard when we did our comparison. I could pull that back out.
Yeah, I
probably
think
should
you're
have
right.
that. But I think that a lot of cities were 5.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing 4. I'm just saying I think
Yeah.
that's why that started there, was like everybody else was 5. So, but you can do whatever you want.
In case you don't get many applications.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because in theory, we didn't have 7 to begin
Right.
with you all, so.
Oh, okay.
It was strictly 9 in the past, right? And then you didn't get 9
It's
this
currently
time.
9 and there's 2 vacant
You were-
seats.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there was discussion amongst the commission whether we could do the charter review with less than 9.
Right.
And Kristen said yes, because you'll have 2 vacancies, so that will be allowed, but it was just difficult to get people this time, yeah.
I mean, when it was 9 before, it was members of the commission going out and really actively going, please sit on this committee for it, please, and just, because it's not that we got more than 9 right off the bat without trying. It was that we ended up asking them to go out and find people to help us, so. We're good with whatever y'all wanna do.
Well,
So.
playing devil's advocate,
Okay.
if I want to use that word, language. So let's say they get 15 applicants, and they choose 7. Would the other people that applied be aware of that? Would they question that? Why did you only, you can have 9, why not?
Yeah, what's the criteria
Yeah,
for
why didn't I make the
being
cut?
a member of this committee,
Feedback who didn't make it.
Yeah, that would be up to the commission.
other
to-
than we didn't pick you?
Well, I just think it gives the commission flexibility. If they look at the 9 and only 5 they felt are qualified, it gives them that flexibility to make the decision. So I think that's part of why you voted for the commission. Just because 9 people apply doesn't necessarily mean that, in the commission's opinion, all 9 of those people were equally qualified.
Correct.
And this is giving them flexibility to make that choice, so I think that's a good thing.
I don't know.
And then
What
your
if we-
question goes to what is
Yeah, what are their
the standard?
qualifications?
Yeah. I mean, it would be a public discussion, so
Yep.
any decision they made is really subject to the public's
Right.
scrutiny, because they would have to come in and say, I am not comfortable with this person because of this, or I
Right.
don't, it would
Yeah, yeah.
it would be a public process, it's not,
Right.
which we would
Just
hope
like
would
this.
make that it.
We're
Yeah,
being
but I
recorded.
just
Yeah.
don't
Some
see
integrity.
what the qualifications would be, what would make
That-
one
that would
person
get- yeah, that
more
could get really-
qualified to be a member
Yeah.
of this. Now, I
Right.
wasn't, I've
Yeah.
never dealt with a city government in my life. I'm learning a lot,
We
but
liked your application.
I did a lot of analysis of things, but not on the level of the city, so I really had a lot to learn. And now, here I am with, I'm gonna go and, spread the word, but I don't know, I did it because it looks interesting, and I have some background, but what does it mean if someone, my neighbor wanted to do it too and doesn't?
Well, wanting's good, so that's a A+ right there. Somebody
Well,
wants to. do it,
apparently just
yes.
wanting to, yes, is a
Yeah.
good qualification.
Well, let's say the people-
Do you have a heartbeat? Oh, you're there.
Yeah, really, I get it, I know how that works,
Yeah.
but.
Let's say the people that didn't make the cut for the whatever, this year, would we be able to say, hey, by the way, we'll keep your names maybe nearby at the top of the list, and maybe contact them the next time we need members for board? The only reason I say that, then that's like encouraging maybe over the years,
Yeah.
rather than, no, they didn't pick me. Well, they didn't pick me, but I'm still maybe a possibility for 2 years down the road for it. I don't, maybe it's complicated.
You could,
I just didn't want to put the commission in a position to have to defend or not defend
Huh?
a pick.
Ken?
I just put it in the category of, we're trying to legislate common sense. I mean, you elected the commissioners, let them exercise common sense, give them a little flexibility, 5, 7, or 9. And I think that's good enough.
I think, just to your point, Susan, I think we could spend hours just coming up with the criteria
I know.
that would
You
be,
don't wanna get into
that would
that.
be fair. I don't wanna do that, but that would be fair to everybody, because I don't know what it would be, yeah. Other than good common sense.
Yeah, it's good. You
Yeah.
trust the commission to
Should they live
exercise
in the
good common
community
sense.
for a certain amount of time? Should they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that, do they have to live here for a year,
You
like
have to be
being
a
elected?
resident and a registered voter.
Okay, yep. Yeah. That's it?
You can move in and sign up in the same
Well, but
week.
that's part of, they could look at the criteria and go, this person hasn't lived, has only lived in
Yeah.
the city for
Yeah.
a month, so maybe
Yeah.
that's a reason that we don't necessarily want them serving on this committee.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? I mean, okay.
Just don't want to find you wasting time over figuring out the
Right.
criteria when
Yeah.
somebody gets mad because they didn't get.
Well, I
I
will
mean,
tell you, Larry already knows this, but I will tell you that we have an extremely efficient city administrator. So the applications were to us, if they were available, a full week ahead of time, so we were able to go through, look at them, completely digest them before we came in, to the meeting to discuss them. And, so we had time to look at them and to, come to some general conclusions before that, so. Beyond that, I don't know, yeah.
I think regardless of what membership you set up, the commission is potentially going to be in the position of having to do a ballot and ranking and turn people
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
That, I mean, unless you just say everybody that applies can be on it, and I think that's dangerous.
Right.
So,
Right.
more in a numbers game than in a, anybody with, that would be bad. So, you don't want a committee of 15 people. That would be, y'all would never be done if you had a committee of 15 people. But,
Yeah.
Well, initially you wanted 9 people for this review, right?
Well, it said 9. and
which is large comparatively. Yeah.
So, and we've left that
Yeah,
door
no
open
choice.
to have as many as 9.
Yeah. And we just do a ballot and ranking, and so the commission, when we've done this before, because we have had to do this either for this committee or for planning or other committees that we've had, and they just rank their, however many candidates, and just the top vote getters are appointed, and we say thank you for applying to the rest, and it's not been an issue. I mean, I'm sure there's people whose feelings have been hurt or who have been disappointed, but, I mean, we've had.
Turn anyone down this time.
No, but we have in the past had to do like ballot and ranking forms for.
That's such a highly qualified crew here.
It's my first time ever doing this, and I've learned a lot,
I think
just
y'all did
listening to
great.
all the questions you guys have had.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been great. All right. Any other discussion on that topic? I'm going to go back to Carly and Kristen to see if they have anything that they want to add, because we are actually done with the document. And if there's nothing else,
I think all I would ask is just to formalize that I'm gonna read off these sections, and it's a little bit complicated
Okay.
because of the article. I just
to
want
get
to
it
have
recorded.
I just want to have it on record that you are recommending changes to specific sections, and any section not named right now, you are recommending be left with current language, just so that that statement is made.
Correct. Yes.
If we're okay with that.
Everybody good with that? Okay.
Okay, so I have that you are recommending changes to 1.04, 2.03, Article 4 in its entirety, and that would include any sections throughout the remainder of the charter that would need to be changed, for example, because of 2.05, if it's determined necessary for the change from city manager or city commission to city manager. There could be other articles throughout that need to be changed to be in line with that. So Article 4 and any necessary to change.
Okay.
If Article 4 is not amended in its entirety, you recommend amending 4.01, and then 7.01 and 7.03. So any articles or sections not named right now, you are recommending to leave as current language unless they need to be changed to be in line with one of these other recommendations.
Right,
Does that make sense?
correct.
Is that okay? Okay. So, I would almost, should they vote? Or do we just do all in favor? What do you think? Motion favor? Okay, can you request a motion in a second and then just ask all in favor?
To support what you just
Yes,
read?
the motion, as
Okay.
everything I just said.
So could I get a motion and a second for what Carly just read, that we're in support of it?
I move that we vote for the recommendations as read by Carly and recommend that to the commissioners for action.
Okay, so that was from Ken. Oh, Glenn beat you.
Ladies first,
I saw your hand, sorry, so Glenn second,
Glenn?
we'll split it.
okay?
Okay,
So,
so Glenn?
Glenn has a second.
Glenn has a second, okay.
yeah, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay.
So, anything else?
No, so we will, get these, cleaned up and ready for presentation to the commission, and then we'll notify you all of when that's being presented to them. It will be a Tuesday morning in the month of June, so I'll talk with, our finance director, because it will be doing budget workshops also, so I'll probably find a day where she has less to do budget-wise, so we're not keeping the commission here for many, many hours. And so we will notify you. If you'd like to come, you're welcome to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you would be welcome to come when it's being presented to them.
Can you notify us about that?
Yes,
So that's planned that we're gonna present this in June?
yes.
Okay,
Because we need to know what the commission is wanting to pursue, because there's a process for getting it ready to go to referendum, so I would.
so go to the ballot.
I would need to know in June, most likely. I need to know by August, and they take a
Yeah.
summer break, so
Okay,
It'll be on the ballot this November,
it would be for March.
March.
But it
Oh.
takes a while to put all of these into the appropriate, like, ballot question form. It has to be in Spanish also. It's not a quick process. And then I have to get the ballot language turned into the county by end of November. It takes a long time to plan these, so it would be on a ballot in March. If they choose to go forward, it would be March.
And that's a 9 a.m. meeting?
It will be 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. I just don't know which Tuesday yet.
You'll let us know once you pick that.
Yeah, I'm just
we
gonna
have
talk
other
to
support you.
finance.
Well, thank you, but yeah, we have a lot of, because it's budget month, we have a lot of meetings
Yeah,
throughout the
we have
month.
extra
that
meetings in June.
Carly already sent us a schedule on, so I'm not sure which one she's gonna pick, but we have plenty to choose from.
I was gonna defer to Heather, our finance director.
Okay,
just-
yeah,
She may have a day where, that one's gonna be much longer, don't put anything extra with that.
got it,
Uh,
yeah,
So,
awesome.
that's what we try to do, so.
Just a question, sort of after the fact. In reading the blue pages, is there any need to put in anything about the change in the roles of the commissioners? I know you had some mayor's duties that would be changed because of this, but is there any reason to include anything about commissioners no longer have the responsibility or any of that? Or will that just happen de facto?
That would happen de facto. I think it would read a little bit strange
Yeah,
in the years coming if that was on.
yeah.
Instead, I just crossed out any affirmative duties of the city commissioners that was under the administration section.
Okay,
So that's my recommendation.
okay. And then is there anything required by a city manager as far as, I know the first city manager A says, you'll be appointed, or a city manager will be appointed solely on the basis of executive and administrative qualifications. Is there anything that has to be singled out by law or precedent that there's certain, like, not licenses, what am I thinking of? Like certifications that you have to have to be eligible to be a city manager?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, there's some that are standard,
Mhm.
but there's not anything that's specifically
Okay, so,
required.
yeah, so you wouldn't, like a city attorney would obviously have to be an attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Barred in the state, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you.
That's excellent observation. Anybody pick up on anything else? Oh,
I do mine,
Yes, if you had
or
some
am I
extra.
getting ahead of you?
No, they're your questions, you can, yep, whatever you'd
Oh,
like to
okay.
bring up there.
I'll try to be
Yeah.
real brief with this. Carly was kind enough to say, give it a shot. I've always had this feeling ever since I moved down there, and it's this main corridor out here. I think it's a moneymaker, and I think it's just great opportunity for many other businesses. So I guess one thing that got me thinking, and please stop me if this is like boring and not essential, because I don't think that many people are kind of, this is on their radar screen. So for instance, I was reading some notes that we're possibly getting another car wash out in our South
Correct.
Pasadena main drive.
Yes.
Shell, the other guy, 3 car washes? So I'm just saying, can we talk, would this be something that we could put in the charter, there's a committee for it, or what terminology would you use? And I have other points.
So-
For myself. I mean, is it even valid for me to bring this up?
It's,
I'm not, don't worry, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
there's not really a mechanism for the city to do that.
Bummer.
I know.
How did that get passed?
Just based on property rights, there's not, and especially right now, we're even more restricted currently than we are typically. There's been legislation passed the last couple of years. It's temporary. It's supposedly gonna loosen back up, what, in 2027?
Yep.
That restricts, it restricts the restrictions we can put on property owners. So there's very little we can do right now.
It restricts the, one more
It,
time?
it restricts the restriction. We cannot further restrict property use beyond what is currently in place right now, while this Senate bill is active, which is until 2027. But even when that is not in place, it is difficult for a jurisdiction to legally limit the type of businesses that can come and go in its
So another car wash can just come
We
right
could have a
on in there.
whole street of car washes.
Oh, God bless America. Now you see why I brought this
So,
up.
I mean, cities can do like a downtown core, they can do certain rules in certain parts of the city, but it requires an awful lot of, and it requires a citywide referendum in most
yes,
cases.
and like
So-
zoning changes.
So like in
and-
downtown St. Petersburg, they have said you can't have restaurants that are chain restaurants in downtown St. Petersburg in the downtown core. So
We're
you,
gonna be the fast
you
food
couldn't
alley.
you couldn't put a McDonald's, but you can put a hamburger restaurant, but it can't be a franchise or a chain like that. Because they were trying to maintain a certain look and feel for the downtown core. But and then that's been in place a long time, and I think that's been challenged a few times. And of course, the state of Florida getting involved in home rule, we all know has been getting more and more difficult for the cities to maintain their own.
You know, I see all the
rules and
empty
regulations
buildings, I
and
see the ones
zoning.
got hit by the hurricane and so forth and so. I just see a
There's
golden
zoning.
opportunity to have some unique type of different restaurants, clubs or something of that nature. But the commissioners don't even get involved in approving any new business coming in?
If it is to code, no.
It is,
So just as an example, Glenn,
You
I'm
never
I'm
hear
not
about
an expert, but in front of the storage place up there, okay, right next to Scooters, where the Chipotle's is going in.
It was a
Yeah.
home run.
There you go, but where the Chipotle's is going in,
Chipotle.
what's that?
Just a Chipotle on that? They're taking
Yeah,
that
they're
whole-
taking that whole section up there. But when that was granted the ability to put that storage unit in there, that piece of land in front had some kind of restriction on it, that it had to be a restaurant with inside seating. So we were actually able to stop a business or two from going in there because they were only gonna have drive-through at the business. But for the most part, retail is retail, right? I mean, we
That's
can't.
because there's a development agreement for that property specifically. So the
Okay.
storage facility was able to build bigger than it would have been allowed under code because it promised, we will give you something with retail on the front. The front building will have to have some component of people coming in to the facility for some retail aspect. So anything that has been proposed for that site that did not have like an indoor retail component has been denied. but but that's only because that property had a development agreement on it.
Right.
So that same,
That's kind of what I was referring to, yeah.
yes,
But
that
it's
same
not
drive-through
everywhere.
only something else down the street wouldn't come before the commission for approval. We just get notified, oh, this business has bought this property and they're gonna build and open.
So the state, let me make sure I understand correctly, there's a Senate bill you mentioned
Yeah.
out there that restricts the restrictions. The state, that came from the state.
Yes, yes.
Senate Bill 180.
Senate Bill 180.
Till
So-
27?
I'm sorry?
For another year, till
Mm-hmm.
2027?
So like October 1st, 2027.
So almost.
Unless it's extended, and it's really an emergency relief bill.
Correct.
That's what it is.
My understanding is that the state did not want cities to, I don't want to say capitalize, but try to utilize storm damage to change the basis of their communities. So if you had an area that was heavily storm damaged, you couldn't come in and go, well, now we're gonna restrict, like if your business is wiped out, well, now we're gonna say you can't have that business here anymore. Anyway, like if something else couldn't move it, you can't use the storm damage to try to restrict property use.
Well, if the person wasn't gonna come back in at the business, then you could have, if they said no, then you could have, well, the person wasn't gonna come back and do their business.
Any business could come in.
That's what I'm saying. So after that, any business could come in. Okay.
So, one second. I would love to keep this going, this topic going, because to have a community group here with the right people is fantastic, but we're not on charter review anymore. Should we end the charter review and then continue this topic?
You're welcome to. I'm here all afternoon. I could just sit with y'all
Okay.
and chat about this.
Yeah.
Whatever
No,
you like to do.
I mean, you
I'll
bring
chat
up a
with you
very good
about
point,
whatever you
but
like.
for us to
Yeah,
hear it,
we
I mean,
can-
this is
we
kind of
can
stuff
talk about
that the
whatever you want.
commissioners and the city love to hear about.
Well,
So,
I also have a question on something, but so I think it would be my recommendation that we close out the charter review, and then maybe anybody that wants to stay, because I do have a couple of questions on that subject.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, so, real quick, is everybody okay with closing the charter review? Are we happy with where we ended up and all of our documents? There you go.
And everybody-
All right.
I did want to mention
So-
how helpful the staff have been,
Oh.
and if there's some way to incorporate that in.
No,
any way.
we never tell them they do a good job.
I worked for government. I was a government employee a long time. I know about that.
Try.
Pretty, not soon enough, evidently, Glenn. Okay, so because we're done with this, we're not gonna have an additional meeting. Okay, so that's what was on here. Okay, I'm just double checking. So unless there's any further discussion on the charter review, we will adjourn, and I wanna thank you all very, very much. So we good? Yep. We're done. We're adjourned.